We're delighted to welcome Marta Kubica, Chief Executive Officer, ELNET CEE. Welcome to TVP World, Marta.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. So Marta, we're talking about the recognition of Palestine as a state. Which part of Palestine? West Bank, Gaza, both? Only one of them? Where's the state exactly?
That's actually a great question that we're asking ourselves too. I'm right now in Israel for the past week, and this decision, even though we were, I would say, we knew that this decision will come, but so we were not surprised. As well, I represent a nonprofit NGO that is working to bring Europe and Israel together. So European-Israeli relations is the core of what we do. So we anticipated this decision, but we really don't know what do they mean. I believe, and we believe also, that unilateral recognition of Palestinian state without peace process and agreement with Israel is unacceptable, especially in the light of October 7th. This is like reward for terror and for a horrible terror. So another question is, what kind of Palestine do they recognize? Is it Hamas-ruled Palestine and Gaza? Is it PLO Palestine and the West Bank? Is it both? And there is no information about that. What's the capital? What is the status of the people? What does it mean for the Palestinian people to be recognized as a state by Norway, Ireland, or Slovenia? That's a great question. I wish I had answers to.
And now, what about, just to follow up on that question, and then who should rule this Palestinian state? Would it be Fatah, the Palestinian Authority, or would it be, or should it be somebody else?
Again, great question. There is a lot of smart people, political analysts and politicians trying to find a solution. We all know, and I think everyone across the line agree, that it cannot be a Hamas-ruled state. It cannot be a state run by the terrorist organization. And I think this has to be clear. Right now, Gaza is being ruled by Hamas. By the way, since 2006, Israel left Gaza completely in 2005. I was here in September 2005 when this was happening. And since 2006, Gaza is being ruled by Hamas. So this cannot be happening. Like, Hamas has to be dismantled. No country should or would like to have a neighbor that is a terrorist state. So this is out of the question. And now, if we go to Palestinian authorities or Fatah, there is no real leadership. There were no elections in the Palestinian Authority in over 10 years. The leadership is very weak. There is no one really to talk to. And also, Palestinian Authority and the PLO condemned Hamas for October 7 massacre. So this is extremely complicated situation. We believe that, first of all, there should be a Palestinian state. Like, there is no doubt about that. There should be a two-state solution. Palestinian people deserves their state. They deserve safe homes. They deserve not to be afraid for the life of their children.
Understood.
But
thanks.
Some of the Palestinian people have elected Hamas in Gaza, and there's really no clear solution, no good answer to that. There's a lot of international pressure as well, but really unilateral recognition without dismantling Hamas, unilateral recognition of a Palestinian state that doesn't have clear borders, because I don't know if we're talking borders from 1948 or 1967. And again, whether we're talking one territory or two territories, and then they would like to merge, I
Right.
believe, in the future.
Marta, I mean, as you point out, there are a number of question marks over this whole process. So it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. But Antony Blinken has suggested that a multinational force be deployed in Gaza to keep the peace. Prime Minister Netanyahu says, well, that's not going to happen until we've got rid of Hamas. Do you think, assuming Hamas is ended by the Prime Minister and there is a multinational peacekeeping force in Gaza, do you think that's a workable solution in the short term?
That's definitely a first step. First of all, we have to remember what happened on October 7th. And being here in Israel, I'm here with the mission of 18 women leaders from all over Europe. We're here on fact-finding mission. We have visited the most horrible sites you can imagine. We went to Kfar Aza, we went to the Nova Festival, we went to the morgue, and we spoke to specialists who were identifying the bodies. We spoke to people who were collecting forensic evidence of the rapes that were done to Israeli women. We spoke to the survivors, we spoke to the families of people who are being held in Gaza. Until today, there's 128 hostages, and we don't know how many of them are alive. We know that women are being sexually abused. And yesterday, there was a really horrible video released by the hostages' families forum, this is their cry for help. There was a video released from the capture of 3 female soldiers who were 18 and 19 years old girls, and they were watching the border when in the morning on October 7th, Hamas entered their base. They raped them, they kidnapped them, they humiliated them, and this video is available online. And honestly, I would really appreciate if the media, like yourself, were showing this video, because I know Israel is a strong country. It will survive. It has no other place to go. Jews has no other place to go. Anti-Semitic waves all over Europe and the US are proving us that. But if our friends and allies and like-minded people, including the international media, are showing a narrative where all Israelis are soldiers killing civilians in Gaza, and then all people in Gaza are civilians while there are Hamas terrorists, and you're not showing the videos of abducted girls who are bleeding, who are clearly raped, this is a spiral of hate that I don't see a good solution for neither of the sides. There are people suffering on both sides. And we really have to remember about that.
That's right. Kind of lost at words there, like you said, and of course, well, hoping that the spiral of hate does come to an end and a solution can be found. Marta?
If I may say one more thing, there is so much misinformation in the media, social media especially, that every single person we were meeting here, including the survivors of the Nova Festival or October 7, were telling us with tears in their eyes, thank you so much for being here and for wanting to listen to us, because the world is denying that October 7 happened. This cannot be happening. Like, we are civilized countries, we are civilized people, we cannot forget about what happened and what's going on. We cannot be just focusing on a narrative of terrorist organization of Hamas. Most of the sources about the victims come from Ministry of Health of Hamas. It's like after 9/11, we would be believing the sources published by Al-Qaeda. without critical thinking and trying to get to the real numbers.
Okay, and we're gonna have to leave it right there. Marta Kubica, Chief Executive Officer, ELNET CEE, thank you very much for speaking to us here on TVP World this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a good day.